So it's time for a little channel update just to let you guys know what's going on with me and the cars and everything like that. So as you can see in the garage here, we've got the two Magnas, the running one and the not running one over in the corner, and then the Mustang, of course, the Turbo Mustang. And as you can see, those are the only cars at my house at the moment. And that's because those are actually the only cars that I have at the moment. So the truck, this is where it normally sat, as you can see from the pile of oil right there. The truck I actually sold, and then the Subaru I actually sold over the weekend as well. So my reason for selling those was because I was just stepping back and taking a look at what I've got going on and what I've done and what I've learned and where I want to go from here. And the Subaru, when I bought it, was probably 3 years ago now. It was absolutely perfect car for me at the time. I loved it. I loved it still when I sold it, but at some point you have to move on from things you've been doing or things you've been working on to move on to things that are going to take you where you want to go. So the Subaru, when I got it, it was like the fastest car, you know, that I've ever driven. It was absolute blast to drive, completely reliable. It was definitely what I needed at the time. But at this point, I've got all my projects done and running basically, so I don't need 4 running driving vehicles. Okay, so we've got the Magna, she's running. We've got the Mustang, she's running. The truck had been running too, and it never did quit running, but I'll get to the truck in a second. So yeah, the Subaru, I just had a lot of money tied up in it, and it wasn't even my fastest car anymore. And although it was great, probably the best car out of the 4 of them and a blast to drive, I'm just wanting to move into other things, and I just didn't want to have that money tied up in that car anymore. So I sold it, and it went to a good kid who was excited about it. He's gonna have a lot of fun with it. I've had my fun with it. You know, it's a little bit sad to watch a good car like that go, but it seemed like a good kid and seemed like he's gonna take care of it. So that'll be good. I can always buy another one or build another one. So, but yeah, that's for the Subaru. And then the truck. The truck was great. It was reliable. Like I said, I took it on a 4-hour drive to pick up this this second Magna here, and the truck did it with no problems. The reason I sold it is because, one, it's just like, although it was reliable and doing great, like it's not something that I would want to drive across the country, or I wouldn't want it to be my only daily. So that, combined with the fact that I need to get a bigger truck for towing, which is something I'm going to get into in a minute, that Mighty Max is going to have a hard time towing. Even if I did upgrade the brakes and put a trailer hitch on it, it wouldn't be ideal, and it's not super duper comfortable. So the Mighty Max had to go. I'm going to miss it, but you know, it definitely had its own share of issues and stuff like that, so it had to go. I got my money back out of both of the cars. Got more than I paid for each of them actually, so that's cool. But yeah, the reason I'm liquidating all that stuff and keeping the Mustang is because I want to get into drifting, like a lot more than casual drifting. Like I want to get into going to an event every couple months or every 3 months or whenever they have them. So to do that, I need a good, reliable tow rig. And so selling both of those other cars is gonna fund that. And I mean, I probably could have invested in one without selling those, but I don't need like 10 running cars, you know? Aside from just paying a lot of insurance on them, it's just a lot to keep up with, because little things break here and there, and you've got to keep all these things up, and then you got to worry about storing them, and you worry about parking outside and make sure everything's locked. It's a lot to keep up with, and it's unnecessary. You know, if you've had your fun with the car and you're moving on to other things, then you should sell it and let someone else have their fun with it and use your money elsewhere. That's what I'm doing. Like I've said, the tow rig's purpose will be a comfortable daily and a tow rig for this thing. Like I said, I'm wanting to get into drifting, and this thing could probably reliably go to drift events and back, but I really would rather tow it, just because if something happens, I want to be able to get the car home. And just in general, like I need a truck for when I buy and sell like transmissions and engines and things like that. Stuff, you know, transmissions would fit in the back of this probably, but it's just not ideal. And you know, I knew that when I sold the Mighty Max that I would be getting another truck, because that was its only real use for me, is the fact that it was a truck. So yeah, I'm probably gonna end up going with like a 7.3 diesel. I had a big tow rig that was a gasser before, and it just got such terrible gas mileage and it wasn't that reliable. And I've heard like the opposite out of 7.3s, so that's probably what I'm gonna do. So yeah, that's what you can expect in the near future. And you know, that's pretty much what I've got going on. But with that being said, that we've been getting serious about drifting this car, it's gonna get some modifications that are gonna make it more drift capable. So I need to look up and see what I need to do to the front, because I know the main thing that you need out of a Fox when you're drifting it is steering angle. So I'm gonna look and see what I need to do for that. I think that you pull out some stoppers in the steering rack. I think you install some control arms from like the next gen of Mustang or something like that. So I'm gonna look into that and see what I need to do to make that happen. Obviously, for these daily wheels, I'll probably drive them until they get real low, but they're starting to get there, and I'm gonna get lower profile tires after that. And then I'm going to collect some drift burners for the rear. I'll put decent tires up front, but for the rear, I'm just gonna have burners. And then when I get done, I'm gonna put those wheels back on. So drift fares, extra wheels for Fox bodies are really cheap and really easy to find. So I like that I'm still running 4-lug. I want to install a hydro e-brake and get that all plumbed up and stuff. And I'm still deciding if I want to do it with the drums or if I want to do some kind of caliper setup in the rear. We'll see. I've heard you can make drums work really well, so I'll probably try that first because it seems to be the cheapest and easiest thing for me to do. So yeah, there's that. Engine and stuff is running good. So yeah, in the rear here, I'm starting to mock up something I told you guys about yet, but it's gonna be sick. And yeah, I can't wait to be going sideways on the track in this thing. So that's everything that's going on. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up about which way the channel was going. Leave it down in the comments, let me know what you think. I know a lot of you probably are gonna miss the Mighty Max. A lot of you came here to watch the Mighty Max content. And I mean, you know, you got it. I built the whole thing, I did a bunch of stuff with it, and then at some point you just gotta move on to where you wanna be, you know? Can't keep everything, so that's what I'm doing, and it's gonna be sick. Appreciate you guys watching, and stay tuned.